Welcome back to the news at 10. After decades of erosion and loss of a large portion of land washed away by tidal waves, the River State government has begun shore protection for 5 affected communities in the Ndoni area of the state. Now, during the flag-off of the project, Governor Nyesom Wike asked the handlers not to waste any time in its delivery. Our correspondent Emmanuel Ere reports.
It's a beehive of activities on a normal day at the main market in Ndoni, in Ogba Egbema Ndoni local government area of River State. An agrarian community located by the River Niger. The residents boast of perhaps the finest bunches of plantain and sizable fishes. But the people continue to face dangerous living conditions as decades of erosion from increased water levels and tidal waves ravage much of their land and destroy their houses. And this is what makes the day special, as the River State governor is received by Ndoni traditional and community leaders, including the former governor of the state, Dr. Peter Odili. The occasion is a flag-off of the shore protection works for at least 5 communities in the area ravaged by erosion.
Every day since I left office in 2007, each time I remember that one of the things I failed to do was protecting the shores of Ndoni district. Today, God has answered my prayers through you, Mr. Governor. And by the special grace of Almighty God, God will keep you, strengthen you, give you what you need to come back and commission this project.
For Governor Wike, this must be treated with the urgency it deserves.
I want the job to be completed on record time. I saw the permanent secretary, Ministry of Special Projects. I don't want to be seeing you in Port Harcourt. Come back here and leave and make sure the contractor is doing his work. This soil test, the contractor said, please let the soil test finish this month so that January you commence the work immediately.
He also leaves a word for the youths.
I also appeal to the youths that this is for the benefit of our communities. There's no need of demanding unnecessary money from the contractor. They are not oil companies. They are not coming here to drill oil. They are only coming here to do shore protection and jetties.
The 5 shore protection and landing jetties are expected to be extended to other ravaged communities in Ndoni. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.
Let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Anne Wilder.
First Bank.
Hello and welcome to Business News. The International Monetary Fund says that it expects Nigeria's economic growth to pick up in 2018 to 2.1%, driven by the impact of access to foreign exchange and higher oil production. In its latest review of Africa's largest economy, the Bretton Woods Institution acknowledges that the country's overall growth is slowly picking up, but that the recovery remains a challenge. The IMF adds that low oil prices, security issues and absence of new policies are all threatening the economic growth and economic recovery. It further advises that moving towards a unified and market-based exchange rate as soon as possible will be necessary to increase confidence and reduce potential risks of capital flow reversals. The employment data released today by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that 4.4 out of every 10 people in Nigeria's workforce were unemployed or underemployed in the third quarter of 2017. According to the Statistics Office, Nigeria's working population was 111.1 million people by the end of September, while unemployment rate increased from 16.2% to 18.8% at the end of June. In the meantime, meantime, the NBS expects Nigeria's unemployment rate to rise further. Nigeria's equities market closes the last trading day before the Christmas holiday upbeat, in line with forecasts from traders and analysts. Emana Amawe sheds more light on the trading activities for today.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The winning streak this week at the equities market entered the third day today, being the final trading day before Christmas. The all-share index gained by 0.45%. The gains by Seplat, Nestle and Dangote Cement are to be thanked for this. Seplat added 5 naira to its share price, pushing the oil and gas sector up by 2.61%. Market breadth was very positive. 25 stocks posted gains, while 7 posted declines. Although the market's volume and value have reduced in the last 3 days, analysts believe fundamentals are still strong. There are only 3 working days next week, and traders are optimistic this upside trend will continue to end the year and hopefully will hit the 40,000 mark. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. Merry Christmas. I'm Emana Amawe.
The European stock market ended Friday's session negative across board amid a light trading as global investors take a break for the Yuletide season. And in US, stocks hold near record highs after lawmakers agreed on a plan to prevent a government shutdown. Let's see other figures for today. And that's business news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Mwawado. It's back to you, Joma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. There are growing concerns about how Nigerians would cope during the festive season, particularly with the scarcity of fuel in many states across the country. But there are other issues calling for attention this festive season, as some Nigerians complain about delays in the payment of salaries, heavy traffic on major highways, and low patronage in the marketplace.
2 days to Christmas, but the mood on the street is not convincing for the celebrations. Fuel queues hit petrol stations despite the calling of a strike embarked upon by the Union of Petroleum Workers. As if that is not enough, civil servants in some states in the country are groaning over unpaid salaries. Traders at the popular modern market in Makurdi, Benue State capital, record low Christmas sales.
The market sales is poor because there is no money in the town. There is no money. They said they didn't pay them. So I don't know where they will get the money from.
The usual hustle and bustle that characterizes the Yuletide in markets in Osun State in the southwest region of the country is lost. Traders say there is reduction in the price of foodstuff, but that's not enough to attract buyers.
This year Christmas is not, I won't call it a Christmas. So many people are outside. No money to buy anything. The economy is just too bad. Very bad. So the sales this year, there is no sales. Let me say the sales, there is no sales at all.
It's a different ball game in Bauchi State in the northern part of the country. Civil servants throng banks. They received credit alert of their December salary. ATM machines across the state also witnessed an unusual visit.
Because without the money we cannot do anything now. At least as for me now, I did not buy anything for my children. It's today, maybe tomorrow, next tomorrow I will start. Because it says that I received my alert. I just went to bank this morning and cash the money.
The concern in Delta State is simple: to ease traffic. The police command in the state flags up Operation Free Flow of Traffic at the Asaba end of the Niger Bridge. Travelers traversing through Asaba to the southeast, south-south and southwest for the Christmas celebrations may now heave a sigh of relief from the usual gridlock during the Yuletide.
Our work now is to make sure that everything is in place, pleading for cooperation, especially from members of the public, commuters, drivers alike, to please adhere strictly to driving rules, traffic rules, so that the place, you do not have the kind of gridlock that you used to have in the past.
It's different strokes for different folds across the country, but most importantly, the people look forward to a Christmas celebration without hardships.
And outside our shores, as tensions continue to rise over North Korea's nuclear program, the United Nations Security Council has voted unanimously to impose tougher sanctions in response to its recent ballistic missile tests and warns that further defiance will invite further punishment and isolation. The resolution, drafted by the United States, includes measures to reduce the nation's petrol imports by up to 90%, and it's backed by North Korea's main trading partners, China and Russia. Washington has been imposing sanctions on Pyongyang since 2008, freezing the assets of individuals and companies linked to its nuclear program and banning the export of goods and services to the country. The country, which is already subject to a raft of sanctions from the US, the UN and the EU over its missile tests, has continued to pursue it despite pressure from world powers to stop. And Catalonia's ousted separatist leader, Carles Puigdemont, has declared that the Spanish state has been defeated in the snap regional election. Now, he says he wants discussions to take place in Brussels, where he's living in self-imposed exile. He earlier declared that the Spanish state had been defeated. The Prime Minister, Mariano Rajoy, had hoped the poll would restore stability, but instead, Spain's political turmoil looks set to continue. Mr. Rajoy's Conservative Popular Party recorded its worst ever result in Thursday's vote. And South Africa's President Jacob Zuma is seeking to appeal against a court ruling ordering him to set up a judicial inquiry into alleged influence peddling in his government. The High Court ruled earlier this month that he must set up the investigation within 30 days. Last year, South Africa's public protector ordered an inquiry into the alleged inappropriate relationship between the powerful Gupta business family and Mr. Zuma. They deny any wrongdoing. President Zuma was replaced earlier this week as head of the governing African National Congress by ex-trade unionist and business tycoon Cyril Ramaphosa, who has promised to tackle corruption. And still ahead on the news at 10, Spanish rivals Barcelona and Real Madrid prepare for face-off in the third El Clasico at the Santiago Bernabeu. And that's on sports. Do stay with us.